Your Majesty, Ma'am, my name is Mrs. Jean Ritchie Keenan, and I'm a nurse, registered general nurse. I started training in Western Infirmary under the Nightingale rules, and I'm one of the last probationers who was taught using Miss Nightingale's methods. For that, we had to be under fire for 6 months and examined and thrown into the deep end so that they could determine whether we had the necessary character to continue. We had the necessary ability to interact with the world and the public. And then after that, we were allowed to practice nursing. We had to live in for 2 years, and that's very, very important, because what's very, very important is the structure that Miss Nightingale had established, the pecking order. The pecking order was what she worried herself sick about. And she was a pioneer, and she was a very exemplary woman for her time, and her parents indulged her in whatever she wanted to learn, Latin, Greek, all of these she attended to. And she also liked to visit the poor in the district and see how they were, and to study. And what she studied was infection. And the remedy for looking after people has been laid down by Miss Nightingale. And so here we are again this morning, and Sky News are now discussing euthanasia again. And there's many people with motor neuron disease, etc., terminally ill. But the National Health Service as such, I don't recognise it as really anything to do with what I was trained to be and how we were trained. Certainly it was hands-on nursing, and your opportunity to study came when somebody was needing more attention. So therefore, as a junior, you were allowed to special them. And that meant that you were everything that they needed, you were there for them. The other part of what nursing is and what it's not, I started in 1966. By 1967, Salmon was introduced, and that was Mr. Heath, and that was the Mensa think tank, plus many doctors, etc. My book, Nightingale Nursing, ? Who knew ? I'm sending that straight to Windsor Castle, ma'am. I'm sending it straight there, and I would expect you to have a look at it, and because it's important, ma'am. It's important. I actually have a case ready to go to the Hague, and it was going to wait and wait, and then I would present it there. But it's myself against you, ma'am, against the Crown, because I have to do this against the medical profession and against the governments, successive governments, for what they've done in the way of destroying Miss Nightingale's work. So therefore, Miss Nightingale went to Scutari, and she had paid for everything. She had everything there to look after people, hygiene, sheets, all of these things. Plus she had cleaners that she worked with, that she rolled up her sleeves and dealt with. And when she got to Scutari, they would not let her proceed. They would not let her proceed. They were actually barber surgeons, good in parts, and some of them were good and some were not. But they didn't want her to operate and to do anything. But your ancestor stepped in, ma'am, Queen Victoria, and she said, you have to let her go. You have to let her proceed. Well, she proceeded, and it was a revolution. And every hospital all over Great Britain was built by the people, brick by brick. She designed the hospital, she designed the spoons, etc. What the actual said was the surgeons in the army, but she's not registered. So she said, well, neither are you. So when you get registered, I'm going forward for registration, but but also she was accepted into statistics, very first woman to be, because from her notes they discovered what was wrong with different aspects, etc. So they're discussing euthanasia yet again, but they've been doing that for years and years and years. And when you've got an excess of potassium or a lack of potassium, it actually weakens your heart. So, they get people started in heart medicines, etc., and they usually throw in slow K. Nice and slowly, you're accepting in this potassium. And when they want to deal with you and sort of let you go, they usually stop most of the other medicines, but they leave the potassium, and you have to actually tackle them about that. And that's what my tutors both discussed with us, because that's the first thing that we had to do when we got together as a group. We had to discuss euthanasia because it was most important. And we were told, don't ever trust any of them. And I never have. Never. No doctor that do I trust to that extent. No. And because of the answers that they got from us, that was taken into consideration, so that we would be accepted to be trained as nurses. So then there was the Liverpool Plan of Care. Many, many people have been killed in nursing who should not have been killed. And I have got everything documented, and I've even come back from America when I heard what they were doing with my friends, etc. And I've witnessed, and daughters from Miami phoning me that I just come back. I just left my friend in the Western, but I always left enough money to come back again. So I had to phone and say, change my flight, I'll pay whatever it is, but I'm going right back. Started getting my stuff packed up, and the daughter phoned me and she said, Jean, I said, don't worry about it. I'm on the plane tonight I'm going back. And we managed to save her and get her back to her house. And we got her to St. Margaret's Hospice. And she died beautifully. Because St. Margaret's Hospice is really the only place that I can think of where what I'm talking about in the way of nursing is still on the go. And Sister Rita is still in charge. And I worked there as a staff nurse as well. So, as I say, this is my plea to you. This is my stepping up to the plate, because I have to. And also all the prayers that I do, I really believe. And I wrote on my little Gideon testament that I was given, St. Augustine said, men go abroad to see all the heights of the mountains, the depth of the oceans, all the wonders of the world, and they pass by themselves without wondering. That's me done now, Mum. That's me done now.